Hello. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having an absolutely wonderful day so far today. And I mean, only thing we can do is jump right into the game after I make sure I move the mouse cursor off the screen. Where were we? It has been like 2 weeks since I played Ender Magnolia. Maybe more, so kind of forgot part of where we were. There's more over in this area. So I think I want to go to the right first. And I also need to remember what controls this particular game decides to use. 1, 2, there we go. Okay, I got it figured out. I got it remembered. I had to remember which buttons were attack versus dodge versus, I don't know, whatever other abilities I have. Double jump. Jumping's probably useful. Yeah, jumping is probably a useful thing to remember how to do in this game. But also, these enemies I do remember deal about all my damage per hit. Yeah, I remember that the enemies in this game deal about my entire health bar per hit, which is still kind of a terrifying concept. Okay. Because we got everything out of this lower room, but we were missing things in the upper rooms. Yeah, we were missing something in this room. I'm guessing it's either the top right or the top left corners of this room. I'm going to check the top right first, because that feels like a more likely location for some secret missable. I just fell all the way down. I do think that the game is expecting you to occasionally fall all the way down this room, given that they put shortcuts, or a conveyor belt as a shortcut right back up to the top. All the way at the bottom. Ah, yes. Because I totally wanted my health to... Yeah, I totally wanted to just get sent flying back down again. So I suppose it does at least mean we got most of the way up there at one point. I just don't remember how we did that. I need to be significantly more careful than I am being, though. It was up here, I think. Ah, yes. Yes, it was definitely up here. It was at least a pathway that we... Oh, it's an entire pathway we missed. Oh. I mean, it does mark the room as complete. We worked hard today. We shall work hard tomorrow. YouTube is sending some error at me. What does it think is wrong? Vertical view error. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less? I have no idea what that means from YouTube. But I don't think that's something I can easily debug midstream, unfortunately. We did get a grimoire. We did definitely get a grimoire. I think that's helpful. I think that's helpful. I do need to make sure I don't get zapped trying to get back through this area, though. Why am I running all the way back through this area? Hold on. I can fast travel back to the respite. And that feels like a much better option. Yes, just fast traveling back to the respite feels like a much better option for how to get back over to this side of the area. Since we might be missing something up there, we might be missing something up here, and we're almost certainly missing something down here. And I can't break that wall yet. I suppose that's a fairly good combo of things that I'm probably missing. because we are definitely missing something up here, though. So at least one thing. Magic Vial. A relic slot's not terrible. Yeah, I won't complain about a relic slot. Maybe not the most useful item ever, but it is certainly an item. I don't know what YouTube is complaining about with the keyframe frequency of the vertical view. Because I definitely have it sending them every 2 seconds and not every more than 4 seconds. But not something I can easily debug at the moment. Okay, 1, 2, there we go. Can I get over to this item? I can get to whatever item this is as well. Pick up a Charm Fragment. That's a lot more health than it looks like. Because 5 health is a surprising amount. Though not because I have a lot of health, more because I constantly run out of health, but I have multiple heals. I do think I can keep going to the left, though. I think that's everything I needed, or at least everything I have unlocked to the right. I don't have whatever I need to break that type of much more solid growth. Ah, yes, a boss fight. That is not the controls I need for this game. Okay, I need to remember the controls for... I keep trying to do Memories in Orbit style dodge, and it keeps not really working out for me here. Yeah, I keep trying to like dodge like I could in Memories in Orbit, where I stay in one spot. Yeah, that dodge ability is I stay in one spot, but get to go wherever, or but get to dodge things instead of a horizontal type dodge ability like I have in this game. There's more of a dash that gives me a couple of iframes. And those are two very, very different concepts. One of which is significantly more useful. That is a absurd amount of damage that boss deals. This boss deals a lot of damage. It also appears I can only really hit the red glowy part of the boss, and not the rest of them like I could with... I think I could hit more of the previous boss than I can of this boss. I think. I could be going crazy there. Is YouTube done complaining about whatever it was complaining about? No. That is... Yeah, I'm not sure what YouTube's having an issue with right now. I'll have to debug that later. The stream looks fine on my stream monitor, though, so I think it's probably fine. And I think it's probably just YouTube freaking out about some non-issue. Ah. I need to be significantly more careful about... What's this boss called? Velgrind? I need to be significantly more careful about this boss being... or doing that double attack, because that deals a pretty absurd amount of damage if it hits me. Yeah, these attacks deal a lot of damage with every hit. Yeah, every hit. And I need to be significantly more careful with it. Because I just got caught on fire, and that hurts a lot in this game. Yeah, getting caught on fire hurts a lot in Ender Magnolia. So I'm not entirely sure how to handle. I know how to handle getting caught on fire. It's called Don't Get Caught on Fire. It would also be helpful if the game didn't drop my heal input occasionally. So we are getting... We're not making it very far through that boss's health bar, though. So I do feel like I am making at least a little bit of progress. Maybe. Maybe a little bit of progress. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it figured out what it was. Now you two figured out whatever was going on with the vertical. I don't know what was broken there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Come on. Like, these aren't difficult attacks to dodge. There's just a lot of them. And they hit exceptionally hard. Which makes it really, really hard for me to hit the boss. Yeah, it's really hard for me to hit the boss because they keep sliding back and forth across the arena. And I can't stay close to them during most of their attacks. For fear that they're going to do one of the attacks that I can't quickly dodge, at least. And I don't see a stun marker for the boss. Okay, that... I am slowly whittling down their health, but I'm also getting hit significantly more than I can afford to be. I'm getting hit significantly more often than I can afford to get hit. And I'm already down 4 out of my 5 heals, and that's only because I have the thing that gives me extra heals equipped. But I think my default heal count was only 3 without my add-on item. Ah, yes. Because shooting laser beams as a new attack is totally helpful. Okay, I can at least heal one... Use my last heal there? That does not put me in a good spot. Ah, yes. The ground explodes. I'm honestly not sure what I was expecting there. But it definitely was not the ground just exploding out from under me. We did make it further than we have been. Though also immediately starting off this fight by taking a hit from the very first attack is maybe a little bit suboptimal. Okay, because I can dodge away from that particular attack. Okay, I think I'm getting the dodge timing down for most of these attacks. Because, yeah, these aren't the most difficult attacks to dodge, but I can't interrupt my attacks to dodge, and I can't... Yeah, I can't interrupt my attacks to dodge, and I can't easily dodge their attacks. Okay, I think I just need a better balance between dealing damage and not getting hit by every attack the boss throws out. Because this boss really does just deal a absurd amount of damage. As does everything in this game. I feel like they took the hard mode to mean deals absurd amounts of damage more so than, or as their difficulty scaling method. Because we are on the hard difficulty, but that feels like it's been getting a little bit, like the damage from the hard difficulty has been scaling way faster than we can deal with taking additional damage lately. Because, like, one attack dealing over half my health bar is kind of crazy. I suppose it kind of just makes it mean that I can take... that each of my heals is one hit I can take. But I feel like the game was not entirely balanced around that. Given the fact that it has a bunch of health upgrades that really don't add up that much to me. Because everything just deals such an like 5 extra health does not help when I'm taking several hundred damage from every single hit. And also, this boss is just really hard to consistently hit. Yeah, I'm taking 220 health or damage from a single hit. I get health in 5 health chunks as I go. That means I'm taking 44 health upgrades worth of damage per hit. I don't think that's entirely a reasonable number. Also, the boss constantly sliding back and forth makes it really hard for me to deal damage to them. I also need to make sure just a touch more careful to not get clipped by whatever the boss is throwing out with the fire phase. Yeah, this is not great for my survival rate. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I did successfully dodge that attack and that attack. I feel like I need to do one set of attacks and then dodge. Yeah, I feel like I dodge one of their attacks and then I counter with one of my own attacks to the best of my ability, given the positioning of the boss and me. Because I really do just need to be very, very careful with how much damage I actually take. Okay, are you gonna... What attack are you gonna do? You're gonna slide. That is going to hit me twice. I can't really do anything with the slide attack, though, is the problem. Because half the time they slide so far out of range before they even try to do anything to hit me that it's not particularly useful. And then they slide half off screen, so I can't even read what their attack telegraphs are. I mean, I do suppose it's entirely a skill issue on my part. I do think I figured out how to more safely deal damage to the boss. Though it relies on them actually doing an attack somewhere I can counter. Which the sliding attack is not really an attack I can easily counter. Just due to the fact that they normally slide so far past me before they actually do their swing. Oh, are they swinging to where I currently am located? I think that's what's going on. Yeah, I think that's what's going on, is that they're sliding to where I was located at the start of their swing attack. I'm still not sure how I'm dodging some of these attacks. Yeah, they're definitely sliding to where I was at the start of their slide and not where I actually wind up after I do a dodge attack. Okay, I want to just avoid taking as much damage as I can. I should really make sure I'm using my pressure abilities at the same time, though. Ah, yes. I needed to heal there. I definitely needed to heal. That was not exactly what I'd call a equivalent exchange, because I can... The focusing on the pressure ability in this particular fight already thrown me off enough that I took multiple hits right away before I could even really figure out what I'm doing. Yeah, the boss, because the boss isn't just sliding off screen on stream, they're also sliding off screen on my end, which makes them a little bit hard to predict. Okay, no, they are regularly sliding way past where I am, which I can't really hit very well. I can't really hit them very well when they do that. Ah, yes, I'm now on fire, and I'm going to run out of health because I am on fire. Yeah, I can get a... I am getting further through the boss fight, though. Yeah, if I mistime, like, one attack, I burn, like, my entire health bar. This game's bosses are kind of terrifying. If I'm being completely honest, this game has, I think, some of the most terrifying bosses I've seen in quite a while, just due to how much damage everything does relative to my health bar. Because it's like playing... It's kind of like playing a game like Silk Song, except every time you take damage, you need to manage to get a heal off before your next damage. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Technically, my attack chain is longer than 3, I think. I think it's a 4 attack chain. But I don't really have the time to mess around with it. I couldn't even see that attack coming. I suppose if they're on the edge of the screen, I can also just avoid the boss. I got lit on fire again. Them doing their scream attack while I'm actively on fire does not help me. Though I did manage to get a hit off during that laser beam attack. Better than I normally can do. I'm now on fire again and had no healing. Huh. So this is a little bit on the rough side. So my internet is apparently freaking out about something today that it normally isn't. I noticed I normally do a speed test before I stream to make sure that my internet provider didn't decide to give me 0 internet today, because I've done that a couple of times and I haven't noticed it until I started streaming. Except they started blocking the speed test that I use. Like, I'm getting blocked errors from my internet provider on the speed test program I normally use. Which is a little bit ridiculous. I know they're not giving me the speeds I'm paying for. Oh, come on. 1, 2, slide on over, slide on over. Please do an attack that I can actually counter for once. No, you're just gonna slide all the way to the side? That's all you want to do, apparently, for this boss is... Or at least that's all this boss wants to do, is just slide around until... I don't know how it's determining what attacks to do. So some games I can kind of predict what the boss is going to actually throw out at me. Some games it just does not play nicely. Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3. I don't mind them doing that swing attack. That one does a lot of damage, but also if I can see that's what the attack they're throwing out is, I can dodge it fairly easily. Yeah, that is one of the attacks I can dodge relatively easily. And I can counter when they do it. I can't really counter the fire. I can't really counter that fire attack super well. Okay, I can dodge into that attack as well. That's a somewhat terrifying spot to be in. Yeah, because I can dodge with the boss, which does put me a little bit closer in order to deal damage to them. A little bit of time. I need to make sure I throw my owl out as soon as the boss finishes one of their attacks. Or as probably even before then. Probably just as soon as the boss starts. Ah, yes. Getting clipped by that attack barely. Can I just get the lasers to aim over to the side so I can deal an attack to the boss while the lasers are active? That is going to... Okay, I learned last time that causes the ground to explode. I don't know how to dodge that attack, though. Because it appears if I'm anywhere close to the boss when they throw out that flame attack in... I'm going to call that phase 2. Then I'm basically guaranteed to get hit by enough flames to have my entire health bar zeroed out, regardless of how much healing I have. Okay, and I should probably make sure I'm throwing out Crescent occasionally as well, just for the extra damage, though I need to focus on not getting hit first. Yeah, if I get hit, then it doesn't matter how much damage I'm dealing, because I really can't survive anything that this boss throws out like more than once in a row. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can dodge that attack fairly well. Okay, I don't know how to read when that boss is, or when that attack is done. Ah, yes. Gonna get hit by an absurd amount of damage again. This boss really does just love to deal a massive pile of damage with every hit. I feel like they're going to throw out the fire attack soon? Yeah, I feel like they're going to throw the fire attack out soon, and I just cannot be anywhere close to them when they actually decide to throw that attack out. Which, of course, makes it difficult when they don't seem to have a very good telegraph for the fire attack. Okay, I'm so close on the boss. Ah, shoot. Did I get the boss? I think I got the boss before they got me. I was about to say, I thought I lost there because my screen got really slow. Like it normally does when I lose. But I think I managed to hit them right before they hit me with the winning blow. Damage to core. Systems. Emergency. Shut down. Shut down. Aw. Suppose we are kind of helping them by freeing them. I remember. This is where I was born. The homunculi that were mass manufactured for labor must have considered this thing a parent of sorts. Not a parent, a brother in arms. I wanted to stop it, but we all have roles. Thank you from all homunculi. Of course. In factory, room where homunculi were modified. I want to find it. I understand. We'll find it. I think, given that we're still seeing walls I can't get past, I think we're going to get an upgrade soon-ish. Rest now. So hopefully it lets me break all the walls I can't break, because that would be really, really helpful for just exploring around the map. That is an upgrade spot. That is an upgrade spot for sure. This is where I was modified. There's a record here of that day. It looks like the process was only partly completed. incomplete. Felt like something was missing. Do you want to be completed, Garm? I know if I was them, I'd want to be completed. Just so that I didn't have to worry about it anymore. Do I want to do more for my friends. Need it for the Upper Stratum. Okay, I'll start it up. We need, I think, one more half a key to make it up to the Upper Stratum, and I'm not seeing that so far. Okay, I think I take you to Upper Stratum. Thank you, Garm. We're counting on you. Garm's Ascent. Ground, hold up and then press X. That lets me launch up? It lets me launch in upwards direction. Which, I suppose it takes me somewhere. I need to hit the pick up button. Minor enhancement project. Subject, prototype excavator. High output booster to be installed. Jet propulsion will improve mobility and expand mineable terrain. Flight test successful. Full-scale procedure pending return of factory administrator Arcane. I suppose that makes sense what happened to... At least a little bit of sense what happened to Garm, at least. I still can't break the horizontal walls, though. Because that wall is still marked as unbreakable. That wall is still marked as unbreakable. That wall is still marked as unbreakable. I can probably go up here, though. I suppose I am just scrolling the map looking for things that look breakable now. I could break up here, but I can't break sideways to get to the up. That's interesting. What am I missing in this room? Like this big room right here. I know what I'm missing up here, and that's just because I don't have enough health. That's future quest progress. What am I missing in this big room? I don't see any what looks like any sort of barricade. But also, this... The entire Land of Origin area is a little bit... It's just, in general, a little bit of a terrifying area to actually visit and try to do anything in. Because not only is it full of toxic everything, it's also rather full of enemies and, yeah, also the toxic water that deals my entire health bar per hit. Which does not significantly help my ability to navigate the area when I can't even touch half of the area without just instantly getting obliterated. Okay, I do need to make sure I'm very, very careful about where I decide to stand in this game, though. Because these flying moth-type enemies deal... Or they teleport around and deal... and kind of like just light themselves on fire randomly. Which does make them a little bit on the tricky side to actually deal with. I can use my pressure attack to hit them from a distance, at least. That does help slightly. I really want the item from the upper area as well. But I don't know how to get through the poison water without getting absolutely destroyed to get through this room. I made it to about... I think I made it to about here. I think I made it to about that part. I am definitely missing something in this room, though. Given that it's still showing as gray on the map, and it's not that big of a horizontal room. Apparently YouTube just has is having like issues with their vertical streams today for some reason. Like, I don't see anything hidden. I don't see anything hidden anywhere obvious. Which of course means I'm probably missing something hidden somewhere not so obvious. But I'm not sure where that would wind up ultimately being. So did YouTube shadow ban me again? I think it might have. See, I'm not seeing what I'm missing in this room. Like, I don't see what looks like a secret. I should make sure I'm actually in the correct map screen. I'm not seeing what looks like a secret pathway in any of the corners. I'm not seeing what looks like an item I'm missing down. Like, these are separate rooms all around it. So maybe whatever I'm missing is somehow tied to... Not sure where that thought process was going there. Yeah, somehow tied to... What would that be tied to? I'm not sure. I am gonna try to get through the area up above again, though. Speeds up healing word activation is gonna be useful. Increased movement speed is gonna be useful. But I need a lot of healing and movement speed. There's not really any enemies I can deal. Or there's not a lot of enemies I can heal off of. And like I don't really deal damage is the problem. This game doesn't particularly, because like I don't see anything that speeds up my swim speed that at least that I've gotten so far. So I just need to like go fast through the area. I just need to go fast through the room, I think. Though that doesn't give me a lot of confidence in my ability to get through the room up here. Well, watch me not be able to make it through the room again. I also wonder if, like... yeah, taking damage right away also means I just immediately am going to need to retry that because I need to make it into the room without taking damage. For sure. What I was about to say, though, is I wonder if dodging constantly might be more... Oh, I suppose I can take these 3 enemies out and then heal off that flower. That might be slightly more time efficient. Because I can get one free heal. Because what I need to do is I need to swim quickly through the room. But I need to not let myself run out of health like that. That's the really tricky part here. Because if I burn my heal too early, I definitely move fast without... I definitely move fast when I don't have my healing equipped, or when I'm dashing, I move fast, but that causes me to move really slow temporarily. Yeah, dashing causes me to move really slow temporarily while my dash charges up. Because that is... Yeah, that's like my entire health bar between times I can dash. And like, I can't... Because like, I can't really get more dash off. I think dashing continuously is ultimately slower. Yeah, that's about how far I made it last time also. I suspect I'm missing an ability that I need to actually make it through that room still. Just due to how little progress I actually made. I think this is my movement-based ability set. I don't remember what I set all these ability sets up for. I do think I remember I set this one up for just movement and combat. Because I have the additional jump height. I suppose that works. Though what was the really interesting area was this one. I think I need to check the shop real quick first. Because we did pick up a Grimoire in the previous area. Which means that in theory there's at least something else I can buy here. Yeah, held. I bought a lot of stuff. I suppose I could upgrade or get more health by equipping bangles and whatnot that give me health and heal potency. I do suppose that could help me actually get through that room. Not sure how much help that would do, though. I do like the Ilian Totem that gives me the 2 extra heals, though. That is extremely helpful. Okay, there wasn't anything super useful from the shop. But I do think I can go up this tall room now that I have the Garm upgrade. At least that's my theory. This game's music is still so good. This game still has just very, very well done or very well put together music. Okay, at least the enemies in this area don't deal absurd amounts of damage, though I really can't afford to just stand there and tank damage to the face like I did. Because these enemies still do deal a appreciable amount of damage, even if it's not my entire health bar per hit. Because that was the terrifying set of enemies. Is anything in an area that's like close to my progress limit seems to really like dealing my entire health bar if I get hit by it. And also while also taking significantly under a fraction of a health bar. Okay. I'm gonna use my heal there. And then we can launch, in theory, launch up this room too. There is a platform here. That means I'm definitely able to go this, or I think that means I'm definitely able to go this direction now. Okay, we are going really far up. And we suddenly went from not being able to make any progress in this room to actually being able to clear this room. I suppose we did get an ability upgrade, so yay Metroidvania game design. But also, yay for enemies that once again deal a lot of damage for how much damage I can deal to them. I need to get up high. If I want to break into where the item is off to the left, I need to be up higher in the air. Because I think I can then ground slam around there. I'm surprised that actually worked. That is a good pile of materials. I'm surprised that I actually managed to get that ground slam location correct, like, basically first try. Because I couldn't see where I was actually trying to ground slam. And I can launch up again? I can launch up again. I just need to be ready to hit the ceiling. Okay, there is something off to the left around there? Nope, I was too far to the side. Because I want to break into that item, but it's hard for me to tell where this is vertically. I think I can use... I just fell all the way down. I think I can use the blue lamp. There's a blue lamp in the background that I think will tell me where to activate it. Yes, it does. I don't even know if that was visible. I don't even know if that blue lamp is really visible anywhere. It's that one right there. That was my entire marker for where to launch up. Which was slightly left of that little blue lamp in the background. Which is also really hard to see because it's like behind... It's like there's a bit of passive background decoration behind other bits of passive background decoration. Is there anything useful here? Or is this just another shortcut room? I still need to find the other key to the upper... I still need to find the other key to the upper stratum. Okay, this does loop back to the left. Because I'm not sure where whatever item we're looking for is located. We've already... Apparently we've now cleared that room fully also. So where am I missing something? I suppose I could be missing something in this room. Now that we have the launch upwards ability. Because I don't really see anything over here. And I can't break that wall yet. There's definitely a level of just having to untangle whatever order of operations the game wants from me in order to figure out where to go next. Also, this area is still freaky. Declan's estate is still one of the freakier areas I think I've seen in this game. Not just because of the humanoid puppets, because they do that. If I don't defeat them fast enough, they just, like, explode into... I'm honestly not sure what they're exploding into. Okay, there is indeed an item up here. That's not progress, though. Because I don't think there's anything in this room unless there's something, like, up here. Oh, I suppose I could probably launch up and check... Probably something up here. There might be something up here as well. Because we just got from this area the ability to do this vertical launch I keep doing. I just need to figure out where the game's expecting me to use it in order to make actual forward progress. Because I can run to the left of the Magic Academy probably without too much difficulty. This area definitely has some enemies in it, but it's not all enemies. I say that as I then run into a room that's entirely made out of lightning spawning evil wizards, or mages. I suppose they're mages and not wizards. At least according to the game's terminology. Which does not help that distinction is not the most useful. Because they are still rather dangerous. Especially when they light me on fire. That does not ever help my long-term survival rate. I don't know why I jumped into their lasers, expecting their lasers to just go away. Their lasers did not go away. Yeah, that enemy's lasers definitely did not go away after I jumped into them. They decided to stick around way longer than I expected. Okay, this does at least kind of work, though getting past these enemies is a little bit tricky. I need to go right. It's left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right. The teleportation is. Because I think this might be a better way to get past all the wizards and stuff to the far side of the Magic Academy, which is the room I want to at least check. Is to just use the warp puzzle to the ceiling. That at least avoids the very scary room full of multiple enemies. Though, I do still have one of these knights in this room. And I've noticed that every enemy that deals... Right, it's not down and then press X, it's up and then press X. Yeah, this room had the same sort of general laser beam problems as the previous vertical room did. And I could bypass those to go somewhere. I'm not sure if this takes me anywhere useful, though. I'm not sure if this is going to take me anywhere useful when I go up. But I can at least actually make it up through this room to biological research facility. What a familiar feeling. Did I live here with Lilia? Maybe? This area's music is unnerving. Yeah, this area's music, I'm not sure how well it actually picks up on the stream, but this area has some very unnerving music that it's just suddenly throwing out at me. As good as this game's soundtrack is, good does not mean it's not freaky at times. And also, I have no idea what that creature is off to the right, but I already don't like it. Yeah, I already don't like that enemy. And I, have barely even seen it. Please help me please let me find a respite. I definitely want to find a respite so I can heal. But also this area is, a little bit full of creatures straight out of my nightmares, I think is the accurate descriptor for this area. I think that's the accurate descriptor for this area is creatures directly out of nightmares. Because that is terrifying. It makes me very, very not comfy feeling. And also, what are these things doing here? Do these guys at least they vaguely resemble? Those enemies at least vaguely resemble the enemies from the previous area. Or at least a couple of them. That is probably a very strong type of enemy. That is a lever behind the door. It's a lever behind the door, which I definitely need to find the respite. I definitely need to find the respite in that area. Or at least find a respite in that area. Because I will say having to run back through the Magic Academy every time it's not difficult, but it is going to be mildly time-consuming. Though I do suppose having this shortcut of knowing it's left, right, right, and then I can kind of just send myself all the way around The area through the ceiling does help. So I did just fall all the way down. So I suppose I'm not really on the ceiling if I fall all the way down to the floor. But at least there's not a bunch of enemies in the way coming from that direction. So I do still have quite a bit of area to clear. Yeah, coming from this side, I do still have quite a bit of area I need to clear in order to actually get back up to the biological research facility. Wait, because I'm suspecting that's where the last bit of the key that we're missing is going to be found. Is somewhere up in the research facility. Though, say concerning that area just is just full of concerning other things. Also, the fact that I can't seem to make it up here without taking a bunch of damage does not help matters. Because this is also definitely not a respite. Respites in this game do not have a bunch of enemies hanging out in them. And then, of course, I lose all my health right away again. I need to be more careful going through the areas. Because they deal because everything in this game deals a pretty ridiculously absurd amount of damage to me. Which does not help my long-term survival for everything to deal just like 999 billion damage. I did not mean to fall down there. I definitely did not mean to fall down that pathway. How did I even fall there, though? I don't... You know what? I'm actually just going to return to the respite. How did I fall there? I thought I hit the grapple button. But I just kind of, like, didn't. At least this game doesn't really have any consequence for running out of health and dying, other than just getting sent back to your respite. There's no... unlike a lot of, like, other Metroidvanias, that, especially ones that take the Souls-like formula and apply it to the Metroidvania, there's no, like, money that I drop or equipment that I lose. It's just kind of there. Okay, I need to be careful with making it across to this screen. Okay, if I enter high enough, I can avoid the tricky enemy near the bottom as well. But I do need to make sure I actually can climb all the way up this room. This will at least give me a tiny bit more health than I had before, I think. Yeah, this will give me at least a tiny bit more health than I had last time. I'm going to make it in with, I think, one more heal than I did. But I still need to be careful. There was definitely something in this room off to the left, because it was a fairly well-guarded room. Yeah, I need to be really careful about moving through this area and not taking absurd amounts of damage as I do so. I feel like I don't have the best set of relics equipped, because it feels almost like I do actually want the instant dispatch relic that I don't think I have that one equipped right now. Yeah, I definitely don't have... It's Abelia's ring equipped, which I kind of want that item equipped. But I feel like that would help immensely against at least a couple of these enemies. if every attack I threw out had a chance of instantly defeating... had at least a chance of instantly defeating the enemies that otherwise have many times more health than I do. Okay, there's nothing in the ceiling up there. But I can't change my relics unless I'm at a respite. That does make it slightly more problematic. Because there are a lot of, there's a lot of very dangerous enemies absolutely everywhere. Okay, I definitely need to be as careful as I can be traversing these rooms. Okay, that is another locked door. My hope in general, my general hope is that I'll be able to sneak up. 1, 2, 3 dash, 1, 2, 3 jump. There we go. So this game does give you a lot of just movement, or ability to do a lot of just movement jank. At least that is one benefit of this game's movement system, is that I can do a lot of rather janky things with the movement system to actually get around, though this rat spawner is terribly located for survival. Or for my continued survival. Though this is also a concerning... There's also a concerning lack of respites in this entire area. Because I just don't see them, like, anywhere. Normally I find a respite pretty quickly after entering a new area, and not like way far through the rooms. Because I'm still very short on... I'm still very, very short on healing. Doesn't look like that room lets me go to the right, the entrance room. I'm just trying to problem solve where, or trying to think through how the game developers would have built this area to figure out where they might have placed a respite, or at least even like, I'd even take some bonus heals at this point, even if it's not a full respite. Because I really... Okay, found the respite. That helps. That helps actually quite a lot. I don't think that the healing statue, or the golden statue, is really that useful compared to Abelia's ring. But I also don't really need material, so I can keep the golden statue. I'm still not sure what the something useful it's talking about is. But I do want this, or I do want the Abelia's ring equipped, if for nothing else other than the ability to not have to take... I have no idea what window I'm looking at there. Or like what little prompt I have there. That's concerning. Spawn right between two things that... Those also deal half my health. The enemies that deal half my health are a constant source of pain and frustration in this game. Because it's like every other enemy decides to just... that it wants to deal my entire health bar with every single hit. Right, I keep... The reason I keep pressing down instead of up is because I'm definitely still in Silksong mode. Okay, the instant dispatch chance is immensely helpful. That does... It triggers every single hit of my pressure ability as well. And you can see it occasionally just, like, instantly destroying an enemy. It's not the highest chance. But it is a chance, and that's more than I've had from, like, anything else in this game. And I will absolutely take every little bit of benefit I can find. Caladrius Records. Subject Caladrius. Fusion with an avian species during cultivation stage is successful. Mental state is clouded and unstable. The durability of the enhanced body remains an unresolved issue. Form highly dependent on mental state. Note, based upon the findings from blighted fusion with avian species in a foreign nation. I still think that the foreign nation they keep referencing is Land's End from the first game. And that we have or at least something connecting us to that game. I think we did see the first game's protagonist, Lily, at one point. They were just kind of standing there, being way too calm about the entire world ending around them. Though, I suppose if you've survived the downfall of your kingdom, another kingdom's downfall is probably not actually as concerning as it would be to someone like me. Okay, the instant dispatch ability is extremely nice. And just is proving to be very, very helpful. The instant dispatch is, I think, proving to be the most useful ability I've gotten in this game so far. Just the ability to instantly defeat some percentage of enemies, or at least defeat them a little bit faster. Because that really does help. Because that cleared out multiple entire enemies right there. So I do appear to have missed something in this room. Presumably along the ceiling? Yeah, presumably, I'd say presumably along the ceiling, but it's definitely not presumably. It's definitely along the ceiling. I missed two things up there. Because there's the item over to the left, and I see an entrance a little bit more to the right. There's a room entrance right there. And then we have an item up here. I'm guessing this is probably just a pile of materials. Yeah. Still saves me the time of having to find that many materials just lying around the map, because I suppose it's not terrible. This is another respite, though. Okay, apparently I just found every room that wasn't a respite earlier. Yeah. Say, Luisic, why do you dress so differently from all the other homunculi at the biological research facility? I have an admiration for witches. Witches? Beyond the borders of this nation were sorcerers and witches, once capable of using a form of magic that has no connection to the magic of origin. They lived in a place called the Witch's Thicket. There, they would conduct research into magic alongside their allies. They would soar through the sky, riding brooms without so much as a trace of magicite in them. It's quite remarkable. I found myself utterly captivated by some of the things I read in those books. I'd like to try flying on a broom someday, too. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Someday, I'll make a broom-shaped arcane instrument that can carry two, and take you flying. I'll hold you to that. Is that all the story that we're getting from this one? The game just randomly drops, like, little bits of... like, little tidbits of the story. Just at, like, semi-random points, and... where I just find a respite and it's like, oh yeah, you want some lore now? You now get lore whether or not you want it or not. Also, these enemies are still dealing such a ridiculously absurd amount of damage. It is very hard for me to deal with. It's very hard for me to deal with just how much damage some of these enemies insist on dealing per hit. Okay, this does open up a pathway. So I need to climb up to this area from this respite, go up and around. Seems to be the answer. There's a secret here. Not sure how to get to that secret. There's also all the areas off to the left. I definitely missed something up in that room. And there are so many secret pathways around this area. Do I know you from somewhere? Can't remember. Haven't been myself lately. I think we recognized this area also at one point. So it's just a question of why did we recognize this area? I'm also not sure why I ran all the way back to the respite. I can fast travel from anywhere in the game. And that does come in helpful at times. Making it just a little bit faster to actually get around. Yeah, just making it a little bit faster to actually get around the map. Though these are still... Yeah, this area is still full of rather terrifying creatures. Yeah, now I need to go left, up, left, and then I can go down. That enemy two-shots me. That's concerning. That is definitely concerning. Okay, I want to launch up. I can at least mostly sneak past that enemy. If I can break even just the first bit of... I don't need to survive the entire area. If I can break even just the first bit of the flooring, I will be able to make it through. Okay, getting rid of that one quickly that's just hanging out an entrance is also very, very useful. Ah, right. So sometimes enemies in this game can just decide to explode for apparently no reason. Okay, I need to go to the left. Ignore the giant evil dome of doom. Come over here, and then I can down attack all the way down this vertical central column, which takes me... Well, it takes me somewhere. I'll give it that much credit. I'm not sure where. Why does this feel like a scary area? I see an item off to the right. Yeah, I see the item off to the right. I can't get there from this... Yeah, I can't get there from this side. Also, if I try to fight, like, any of these enemies, it seems to not actually be that effective of a even thing to attempt. Is this going to be actually a full relic? Reduces damage taken from enemies by percent depending on the number of filled SP gauges. That might be somewhat of a useful... Yeah, it might be a somewhat useful relic. I don't really use the SP gauge that much. And not taking as much... And like an extra 10% reduction in damage with one SP gauge would be extremely helpful at times. Because the tiny little bits of health that they or that I'd save, would add up pretty fast. Yeah, it would add up pretty fast. I'm not sure where... I'm still not sure where we're trying to actually ultimately make it to in this area. I'm just kind of running around until I find things that seem like progress. The tuner who helped. Something's been nagging at me. The biological research facility. You were here once, too, weren't you? Yeah. After I broke out of this place. The tuner that helped me get back on my feet in the old city. Or something. Then, after I came to my senses when you tuned me, I saw your face overlap with hers. Interesting. Couldn't remember at the time, but it's coming back to me now. Lilia spent a lot of time in the old city. She worked with the townsfolk and the homunculi, trying to do whatever she could for both. Even after all the other tuners ran to the Central Stratum, she stayed behind. The reason the tuners are still welcome in Old City is because Lilia was one. And now, everyone trusts you as well. I don't think I can live up to Lilia. I can't do anything for all those homunculi with inert cores, even if I did manage to help all of you. And yet, that doesn't stop you. You're still doing whatever you can, getting your hands dirty for both homunculi and humans. Give yourself a little more credit. Thanks, Yolven. At least, I suppose we are making progress. Slowly. Or possibly very quickly. I could probably equip some of these other items to help with getting... Because I'm just like obsessed thinking about that area in the Land of Origin that I can't swim through. Because I really want to be able to swim through that area. Frost. Purified organism. Replication experiment report. Text that vanished before I could read it. This game really loves to have text on a surprisingly fast timer. Yeah, status was suspended. Status discarded. Is there anything off to the right? I can open that pathway off to the right because I can break the floor going up. Because this floor is at least breakable going this way to open another pathway. This puts me... Because I could go here. I'm guessing that connects back down through there. I'm slowly trying to just untangle this veritable maze of an area with whatever time I have to stream today. Skilroy. That is not what I was expecting. I was forced to return to the Upper Stratum, but I did not expect you would be able to pursue me all the way here. Did we make it into... Is this considered the Upper Stratum? Look at you. How long do you think you continue to exist in a body so corrupted by the blight? Ugh. Ignorant fools. My lord entrusted the homunculi to me. Sustaining the barrier that keeps this nation safe is a responsibility that takes a heavy toll, even on a homunculus such as myself. Unless the blighted body is regularly replaced, the consciousness will be forever lost. If you intend to maintain the barrier over the land of Fumes, something has to change. A frost with the blood of the priestesses would possess the power to bear the burden. Abelia believed this as well. When the rain of death fell upon this land, claimed many a victim, the bulk of whom were of House Milius. Lord Cain Milius was among those we lost. I was there at the end, when he took his final breath. Lord Milius feared you, who walked in the reign of death unfettered. He feared a world where the barrier would dissipate, leaving a blighted land where only the frosts would live on. And that is why I shall see to the eradication of the attuners by my own hands. No, the eradication of all of House Frost. I think he's lost the plot. I think Gilroy's kind of lost the plot here. That isn't what I want. For us to be the only survivors. If we don't do something, the barrier will... Lilac, he is beyond reasoning. We must do what needs to be done. That's right. It is only fitting. Ah, yes. Boss fight. Against Gilroy, who is a rather... The first fight against Gilroy was already pretty terrifying, and this one seems to be no different. Maybe we go look around the rest of this area first. Because that did a definitely non-zero amount of damage. That also did a non-zero amount of damage. Everything in this game deals so much damage. Ugh. I'm really tired today. Everything in this entire game just deals like an absurd amount of damage per hit. Because like even if it throws two enemies at me at once, even one of these enemies at once is already enough to pretty regularly manage to take me down. Okay, that was a very, very good instant defeat. Because if I can instant defeat enemies, and also I can hit some of these enemy types through the floor and make my life just a little bit easier. I can take out some of the enemies through the floor and make my life just a fraction easier. Though, then I just come up here and lose all my health again. That seems to be the running theme of Ender Magnolia, is every enemy is absurdly dangerous. And every single enemy in the entire game is fully capable of taking me out on their own, from like the weakest little slimes, or like the weakest little enemy homunculi enemies in the first area, to the bosses later on in the game. Everything seems to deal about the same amount of damage. It's just a question of how many hits they take to defeat. Because like these enemies at least aren't the strongest, and do occasionally get hit by the instant dispatch. Though also, they have a surprisingly large amount of health. These enemies do have a surprisingly large amount of health that they get to play around with as well. One enemy at a time, though. Because I really don't feel bad about being slightly cheesy and getting them through the floor, because both the developers could have prevented that. But also, with how much damage everything deals, I really don't feel bad for attacking enemies from a little bit outside of where they can retaliate. I don't feel bad about attacking enemies from places where they can't really retaliate against me. just due to how much damage everything does. It's not tiny little like fractions of my health bar. they're basically dealing my entire health bar, so... And there are a lot more of each enemy type than me. Okay, I can go up again. This area seems... Yeah, this whole area seems mildly problematic. 'Cause I've dealt with these landmine enemies before. They are not good if I get close to them. These landmine enemies are not good if I get anywhere even remotely close to where they are. Since they are fully capable of just... I think those enemies are capable of one-shotting me, and not even like the two-shotting me that we sometimes get, but the full-on just like, or that we normally get is getting two-shot by everything. I think that this type of enemy is capable of one-shotting me if I get too close to them when I take damage. Because there are... Okay, it looks like there are a couple of exits to this room. This giant maze of a room. Also, yeah, the rat enemies being that dangerous is kind of amusing, in a way. Kind of amusing in the same way that it's absolutely terrifying. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Did I not defeat that one rat enemy last time? Did he respawn back into his normal spot? I'm assuming I can go up in that room somehow. What's over here? There is an item, but it's up. Somehow. Yeah, and the item does exist. Okay, I see the lever. Or at least I see what I think is the lever. I saw what looked like a lever over on this side. That was a lot more of my health than I would have liked to see get lost by a single attack. Or lost to a single attack. Okay, slowly clear out. Yeah, slowly and carefully try to clear out the enemies in the way that seems least likely to deal a bunch of damage to me. Ooh! Origin gem cores are a very good upgrade material for me to pick up. Ah yes, this tall room is considered one room. Because why would that not make sense? Wow, I am really sleepy right now. But we'll see if I actually even make it through the full stream length today. Because I am extremely tired. Okay, 1, 2. I don't know why I'm so tired today. Is there anything up on the ceiling of this room? No. This is another respite, though. So I can go check this room over here to the left. Also, whatever this room is. Though I think that's probably easier to access from the lower respite to get down through here. I'm going to just put a marker on the map. I'm going to put a marker on the map for where... if I can talk. For where Gilroy's located, so just so I don't forget which room that is. Okay, that is just an unfair combo. I just got like 1-2 comboed by those enemies in that room. Which is a little bit problematic. Just a touch. Okay, I do want to make it through here, though. I just need to be significantly more careful with my navigation. Also, I can, using my pressure ability, actually does a pretty appreciable amount of damage for the fact that it's supposed to be a, like, passive additional damage dealing ability. It does a lot just on its own already. Not that I'm going to be one to complain. Because that means that just makes my life a lot easier. I can hit some of these things from a far ways away. 600 scrap is not that great. 600 scrap is honestly not all that great, all things considered. Oh right, this is the room with the two really scary enemies. Right inside of it. Because I had already forgotten what was in this room. Which probably is not exactly ideal. Because I need to make it up. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about my owl managing to trigger the instant defeat of some of these other enemies. I don't want to die. Yeah, Gilroy seems to be a little bit evil. If the barrier disappears, everyone will know of the suffering the blighted ring or the blighted rain brings. Ha ha ha. They are definitely evil. Yeah, they're all definitely evil. From Frost test subject to a tuner. Are you talking to us there? Test subjects are requested. Move to the next room when lights turn on. This whole area just has very creepy vibes. Yeah, this whole area just has very creepy vibes. Cutscenes. That looks vaguely like a cage. That actually is just a cage. Lilia Frost, test subject records. That's right, I used to be here with Lilia before I woke up in the lower stratum. I remember having the homunculi for company. Things weren't so bad. Whew. And then, the transport capsule. I remember being placed inside, so I could be sent down to the subterranean testing site. I was the only one that made it out. At the time, something was after Lilia, but it wasn't a homunculus. Lilia. What happened to this Lilia that we keep? Actually, I kind of know vaguely what happened to them, I think. And, I mean, by the general, they probably haven't survived this long. Probably applies to them as well. This whole area is just full of very dangerous things. Lilia's diary. Will there be another experiment today? While the process has been trying, watching Lilac grow has been my secret joy. For a child, Lilac has been taken to the ways of a tuner remarkably quickly. Good. That's what you need to survive. Or is this how a mother would feel raising a child? Or an older sister, perhaps? All I can say for certain is that Lilac brings a smile to my face like no one else can. I hope we can greet tomorrow again. Aww. We are slowly making it somewhere. This is back into this tall central room. Almost. Ah. Aggressor. There's another boss hidden down here, apparently. Good to know. They're definitely an aggressor. I can see how they got their name. Ugh. We are missing things here. We're missing a lot of stuff, actually, still in this area. Because actually finding some of these items before we try to face off against Gilroy will likely be extremely helpful. As will me not being asleep like I am right now. Okay, 1, 2, keep on trying slowly. I don't know how I missed that jump twice in a row. That's not even a hard jump onto the platform. That jump onto the platform off to the right is not even particularly difficult. I almost jumped off the platforms again. Like, this shouldn't be a very difficult item to pick up. 2,000 materials. I'll take 2,000 materials. Is this item accessible via a secret here? I'm going to suspect probably yes. And I'm going to go investigate. I'm going to at least go investigate that theory. Because that seems reasonable to me. Because I can climb up. Yeah, I can climb up the central pillar now. Which is not terribly difficult to just quickly... Ooh. I mean, that's an item. Secret regardless. Okay, so it's not a secret from this room because that would show on the map otherwise. So it could be a secret from here. From below, or it could be a secret from the right or the top. I don't think the top's particularly likely. So I'm going to go with possibly a secret tunnel up? Somewhere, yeah, potentially a secret tunnel up somewhere in this area. That feels currently the most likely option. And then these enemies are still kind of nightmare fuel, if I'm being completely honest. That almost looks like a... I am surprised I got that first try. Especially that almost looks like a secret pathway. And it was indeed. And it's a grimoire. I wonder if it unlocks any useful... or any particularly useful items. I am missing something in this room up top. I'm also missing stuff over to the left, but I can't break that door yet. So I think that's probably what I'm missing up top. Huh. Although I can't make it through there like that. I have to drop down and around. I suppose I'm already in a pretty good spot to be able to get back to the tall dome room. Okay, I need to be very careful about how I deal with these enemies, though. Because I cannot afford to lose all my health on some common enemy in this area. Because every hit I take is actually, like, ridiculously terrifying with how much damage it deals. Okay, I can keep working my way through this room, but also these enemies still just deal like my entire health bar worth of damage every single hit. And I keep bringing that up because it is like one of the defining characteristics of playing this game on... I'm suspecting it had something to do with it is probably something specific to the hard difficulty. But it is a definite challenge. It is a definite challenge for just surviving. I mean, I am getting exactly what I signed up for when I turned the game to the difficulty setting of hard. Which I mean, I'm pretty sure the game would have been hard enough on the normal difficulty anyways, as well, and that I didn't need to necessarily move it up to hard as well. But I'm going fairly well so far, I think. Okay, we can make it on top of the dome. I don't think there's anything up here. There may be something to the right side, though. Yeah, there may be something off the right side of the dome, since that is the general direction of the pathway that we didn't have open before. Of course, I then fall right on top of an enemy that deals a massive amount of damage. That does track. It does definitely track. Can I just ignore the enemies in this room? Maybe not. I'm not sure how to get to the right. I'm not sure how to get to the right side. Yeah, this does feel like we may have made it all the way to the upper stratum at this point. Though the game's progress meter doesn't seem to think so. Which means we probably just need to manage to beat... Probably means we just need to manage to beat Gilroy, if I had to guess. Okay, I can drop through here. But we do have the boss fight against Aggressor down here, who doesn't seem to be the most... I think I just need to be more... I think they're more just a boss I need to be careful against than an actually, like, super difficult boss. Yeah, they seem to have only a couple of attacks. So I may need a relic loadout for specifically boss fight. I think I have one of those somewhere. I feel like I have one of those somewhere, because I have my exploding, or my exploring loadout. I could use my Origin Gem Core on the volcanic pressure ability, which honestly, I use my pressure ability a lot for break damage, and all the other pressure abilities seem to be doing absolutely terrible job of actually dealing any break damage at all to anything. Also, I just want the button, or I just want the yellow marker indicator to go away. There we go. Save, because I have Relic Set 2. I'm going to unequip everything from Relic Sets. From everything other than Relic Set 2. Relic Set 2 is going to be my just exploring around loadout. Relic Set 1 is going to be my combat loadout. I need all the things that make my pressure abilities good. I need my better cooldown. Can I fit increased break damage by 20%? Faster healing word activation. Slight increase to jump height, I think, is useful. 10% less damage, though, would also be very nice. And is there anything useful for 2? We don't really do a lot of aquatic, so I could get something that takes 3 instead. Because, like, that cleanse ring would be nice, but it's also ridiculously expensive. This might be a decent gear loadout for boss fights. Ooh. This may wind up being a pretty good gear loadout for a boss fight. So yeah, they're not... Yeah, Aggressor here is not the most difficult boss ever, provided I stop walking directly into their attacks, which I apparently just keep doing, because they seem to also have a very similar attack pattern to me. They seem to have a very similar attack pattern to mine. And I can deal a pretty... I can deal an actually pretty good amount of damage. And they're gonna do... Are they gonna do another counterattack? They're not. So now my health is pretty low. I keep walking straight into their spinny, swirly attack that they throw out, which is not a great thing for my long-term survival rate. Also, I just realized I've been dealing significantly less damage than I could have been, since my owl does increase my just passive damage per second by existing. This homunculus. It looks like me. It really does, doesn't it? Also, like I said, their attack patterns are similar. It didn't work? There's a rune on here I've never seen before. Mock battle count. 1,202. Result, victory 780. Well done. Mock battle preparations complete. Rebooting. Lilac, put it to sleep. Well done. I hope I was service. Thank you very much. Aw. Was that the right thing to do? But the mind forgets, the body does not. I was born here and spent most of my life in mock training. Interesting. Homunculi created for the sole purpose of my training. It's just as well that I have no recollection of such painful memories. But I will honor their existence through my own. Become part of me and live on. Unidentified core. Ooh, upgrade abilities. Presumably for my attack? I can't get into this room from the right. Or I can't get into that room from the left. I promise I know which way is left and right. Does this let me upgrade? I need an unidentified amplifier for my attack that I'm actually using. Which doesn't really help me. It doesn't really help me as much as it otherwise could. We are at least making some level of what I'm presuming is progress. I can just open up this door from the other side. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything obvious in the areas before I continue on and have to face off against Gilroy here. Though I am going to check the craftery. I could buy a lot of magic vials. The Astrobangle has some pretty good heal potency. I feel like I want the extra healing potency. And possibly the extra health. But I'm kind of just looking at the health and heal potency lines, at least for my bangles. Yeah, I don't... Unless there's one that gives me more than 2 healing ward recovers, I don't think I'm going to swap. Ugh. I don't think I'm going to swap my totems around that much. This is activation time and enhances the damage of the action of Garm, Hottie, Motley, and Lars. Enhancement gear. That's an interesting one. And there are more upgrade materials. I think I'm going to buy... at least one more magic vial, because the extra relic slots, I suspect, will come in very useful over time. I'm also going to make it so I take less damage. That feels like a useful thing to do. Yeah, just make it so I deal... The less damage I deal, I think the better off we ultimately wind up being. What's the fastest way to get to... Yeah, what's the fastest way to get to the boss from here? We're back up to Gilroy from down here. Because this boss, I feel like, is going to be one that takes definitely a appreciable number of attempts. And Gilroy, the administrator... Oh, he's in armed form now. I suppose that is fair enough, because we've already fought him once. And it wouldn't make sense for us to just do the same boss fight a second time. So that does kind of terrify me with how much damage he's dealing. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. A lot of damage. So I think I may give this only like 3 attempts here before I go get sleep. Before I have to call today's stream a little early so I can get more sleep than I have gotten lately. So that I don't spend the entire week feeling like I'm way behind on sleep. So this boss is... Gilroy is definitely a scary boss to have to face off against. You can see how much of my health bar gets drained in a single hit. Like, my health bar is... My health bar is not small. But especially these major bosses just deal so much damage. Yeah, that is not a small... It's not a small amount of damage that I'm taking from Gilroy in any way, shape, or form. And I am barely able to deal a sliver of damage to Gilroy themselves. Yeah, I'm like barely able to deal even a sliver of damage to Gilroy. I do realize I didn't ever actually equip my items, or my new items I bought. That might help. That may help a little bit. Okay, come on, come on. Carefully, carefully. That still hurt. Okay, I should actually swap around my items and equipment for whatever the best stuff I have is. Because I could equip one of the ones that actually lets me parry, but I'm not sure if that's actually useful compared to just the relatively large stat boost I get otherwise. I like the extra healing. Yeah, the Astral Bangle is just a straight upgrade. Though I'm not sure if any of these are... That's gonna eat so much into my healing. That eats into my health a little bit. Though having more health doesn't really matter if I can't heal all of my health. I think I'm gonna go with that loadout. I don't know if this is a good loadout or not. And also the fact that we have like 25% damage reduction and are still taking this much damage from Gilroy is, I believe, a perfectly valid cause for concern. I believe that Gilroy just dealing this much damage, or as much damage as they are, with my reductions in, or the 25% reduction in health that I have, does not bode well for my long-term survival against these boss fights. Because I can do a surprising amount... Actually, I'm dealing a surprising amount of damage, so long as I'm careful. I did get to second phase. Which, of course, it seems to be... or seems to translate to Gilroy just throwing out mystery attacks everywhere. Can I please just stun you? For like a split second. So I can keep hitting you. Okay, so suddenly I think something somehow decided to click all of a sudden. That did a lot more damage than I would have liked it to do. Yeah, because I'm suddenly like doing surprisingly well this fight, or this attempt. I should stop talking though. I should really stop talking though. Okay, there we go. There we go. Ooh, level 60. Getting there. I don't know what the max level in this game is. No, after all this, like you, I am a homunculus of House Milius. It is a bond that runs deep. Why then did you betray that bond? I was loyal to our house, was I not? You fool. It was you that betrayed us. You were tasked with infiltrating House Frost as an agent of Milius. But instead, you let your emotions get the better of you. As for what came of your folly, you would rather not remember, would you? Trust no one. Those were the final words of our Lord. And that is why I do not care for your words, nor those of this presumptuous whelp. If you wish to end House Milius, end it all. Make your way to the Empyrean Parasol in the Upper Stratum. You shall have to summon every ounce of strength you can muster to defeat this core, for I shall not be deterred as the protector of this nation. Little bit evil. Gilroy, are you okay? It appears these blood-stained hands have much to atone for. Manola, let's be on our way to the Upper Stratum. Why do I get the sneaking suspicion that I have an upgrade I can get located somewhere over to the right? Just looking at the map. I do know how games are generally put together. A homunculi restoration device, like the one Gilroy had. It appears it is meant to aid in the exploration of the lower stratum depths. A new variety of high-output arcane amplifier. I believe I may be able to equip this. Gilroy must be stopped. It is a desire all of Milius homunculi share. Unless we stop him, the factory will continue. Allow me to help pave the way for us. Let's do it. Well, let's let me break the vertical, unbreakable walls. Because if so, that'll be very, very, very nice. Just slowly getting upgrades and actually making progress. One area at a time. Lars Swift Flight. While clinging to a wall, hold R2 and release. It is indeed. Yeah, now those are all marked as not dangerous. Okay, hold on. I need to not like bounce off the wall. I just need to hold the button and then let it fly. That launches me quite a long ways across the map. Wow. I mean, I suppose that worked. I don't think there's anything in the ceiling there. I'm guessing that there's a pathway in this room. And I'm able to somehow take advantage. Right, I have boss fight loadout. I'm not going to be able to insta-dispatch any enemies. Because that's on my other relic set. Yeah, instant dispatch is on my other relic set, not this one. Which does not help when I'm trying to defeat a bunch of very, very strong enemies. To not be able to take them out in one hit. Because I think I can presumably launch from this wall to this wall. And then from this wall back over? Yeah, I can. Slowly figuring it out. Actually, very quickly figuring it out. Gilroy examination record. Subject, Gilroy. Regular replacement of parts and equipment has succeeded in temporarily delaying the effects of blight corruption. A link to the magic of origin, necessary for maintenance of the barrier, puts strain on the subject and affects blight advancement. Note, core inert, untunable state. Astoundingly, subject maintains consciousness, but condition is designated critical. Because all of a sudden we are making, like, a massive amount of progress there. Well, if I want to break this wall, where's their closest horizontal wall? I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's like all the way across the map. Because I can't break them unless I have a vertical wall at the correct height somewhere. I should swap back over to my relic loader that has instant dispatch. Equip relics. There we go. Just because instant dispatch really is super helpful against a lot of just a lot of the enemies in these areas. Yeah, this is, I think, the same height. Can I go off this wall? Is this considered a grabbable wall? Indeed it is, and I think this is at the right height to launch all the way through these rooms and get whatever this is. Increase the primary abilities by 15%. That's really good, because that's my primary ability. I'm either going to make it all the way or I'm going to hit a wall that I can then bounce off the other side of. Okay, I'm going to hit a wall that I can just bounce off the other side of. Because I'm trying to figure out which wall it is I need to launch off of in order to break the wall all the way up to the left. And it appears that... Okay, it appears that I am just too high in the area. But the game seems to think that this is a doable, that this is a breakable wall. And I suspect that hitting that's not going to work because of that little overhang. Hey, Super Mario. Also, it's literally just Crystal. It really is just Crystal Dash, except slightly fancier, isn't it? Though I suppose Crystal Dash I can fire off the walls or off the floor. In this ability, I can only fire off on the. I just took a massive. Is my mic glitching out like crazy right now? Sometimes. I think I know what it's doing, and I think I will need to. Yeah, I think I actually know what it's doing. I don't think there's an easy fix for it. Because my computer apparently likes to just have... Or this computer has problems with its USB. Just deciding that it doesn't want to work correctly sometimes. But that requires me to, like, reboot my entire computer to fix it. Yeah, just garbling for some 3 seconds. Yep, it's the USB overloading again. The only way for me to fix that is to completely reboot my entire computer. And half the time I have to completely reinstall my entire computer to fix that. Yeah, I need to be a little bit lower down in order to... Can I launch off the wall inside this room? Yeah, if my microphone's garbling stuff, I can... About the best I can do is fix it before next stream. Yeah, because I know exactly what it's doing. This is not an easy fix, I don't think. Actually, there might be one thing I can try. There's one thing I can try. Let me try something real quick. That would be over here. Let's just see. I can... the problem is that every USB port on this computer is connected to the same USB controller inside the computer, and that's what's getting overloaded. A relic shot, I suppose, is not terrible. Also, I like how a common enemy with one attack takes out my entire health bar. Yeah, let's see if this helps at all. Because it might. This might help my microphone at least a little bit. Okay, I can get through to whatever secret is over here. I can get through there. I can get through there. I can get through there. I'm still just trying to play the game of where is the upgrade that leads me towards progression. Oh, I can break through there now also, though. That's in the Land of Origin. That area scares me. Yeah, let me know if the microphone sounds better or stops garbling now. Otherwise, I'll have to do a even more involved fix that I can't do live on stream without just YouTube deciding to turn the stream off for no reason. YouTube normally doesn't auto-stop streams unless I tell it to. Except for like 1 in 10 times where it just decides it doesn't want the stream to run. Still getting the garbling. Okay, yeah, I will have to, like... Fixing that would involve the stream getting stopped, and YouTube doesn't have a resume stop stream feature. And of course it's doing that. I need to get to that. I need to get to this ledge somehow. It's a weird ledge to get to. Like, I don't even think it's garbling it on my end. I don't think it's even necessarily garbling the audio on my end. I think it's just something on YouTube's end garbling it. Yeah, you'd have to set up a completely new stream. Or I'd have to set up a completely new stream. I used my jump way too early there. It is one of the weird things about how the YouTube streams work. Because like 99% of the time, it doesn't start or stop the stream unless I want it to. but there's like 3 specific actions, one of which is the one that fixes my microphone, that causes it to, like, actually stop the stream. And it's kind of a little bit frustrating. Yeah, you can just start and stop whenever you want on Twitch. Yeah, I do know that Twitch lets you do that. YouTube, it's because they consider streams a video, that it does weird behavior there. Okay, what did I just find? Because it just took my control away, and it normally doesn't do that for normal items. What's this? Document on the Empyrean Parasol. By drawing magic from the land of origin, the Empyrean Parasol is capable of emitting an unceasing magic barrier. Precipitation particles that fall from the barrier serve as fuel for all homunculi, allowing them to operate without the need for magic as a power source. Everything else to operate through the barrier requires the presence of Cain Milius, or a homunculus replica of him. Gilroy had been tasked with this duty at present, but his successor must be ready in anticipation of blight deterioration. Yeah, the way YouTube handles streams is a little bit silly at times. It's about the barrier. The Empyrean Parasol was constructed to ward off the rain of death. The barrier draws its magic from the land of origin. It looks like there's a key inside. That gets me into Upper Stratum. Yeah, the two halves of the key together, we should be able to gain entry to the Upper Stratum. I believe this room was used by Cain, Lord of House Milius himself. Am I doing pretty well, other than the fact that I'm like really, really sleepy right now, which keeps leading me to just stumble over everything I try to say. Nala, is something the matter? No, nothing. I was merely thinking. Yeah. Everybody in this entire kingdom is just made of... I'm pretty sure we have established that absolutely everybody in this entire game is just made out of pure evil. Okay, so for breaking this wall to get to this item, I need to be probably off that wall. Because, yeah, I think I've seen like 3 not evil characters in the entire game. I'm pretty sure all of them want to be evil. That was not a particularly clean navigation of that room. Because I need to make it up, and weirdly, I don't actually have that much vertical mobility in the air. I only have vertical mobility launching from the ground. I do at least have a vertical launch ability for once. We are getting a pretty good collection of different abilities to move around the game, at least. Because I had all these areas that I kept seeing in every corner of the map. Ooh, special alloy core. That might be useful. I don't remember which abilities that'll help me unlock. Yeah, one thing I will say is that this game has a very useful map when it comes to figuring out where you're missing things. Since the game's map does show little red, or not red, or is blue versus green. I play through multiple games. I usually am playing through 2 or 3 games at once. At least on stream, and then 1 or 2 games not on stream as well. I need to grab the wall really low down, I think. Because, yeah, that was definitely too far up. But yeah, I definitely play through multiple games at the same time, which does occasionally get really, really entertaining because I forget which controls go to what game sometimes. And definitely get it twisted up. Fortune Gem Core. Another upgrade material. Yeah, move on at most 2 games. Then I get bored. I am... The hyperactive part of my brain does not do well with that. What relic did I pick up? Oh, I picked up a relic that deals more damage. I can use a special alloy core here. Though I don't know where I can use the other upgrade ability I picked up. I'm picking up a... I'm also not even using like 90% of the abilities here. Yeah, like if I get too bored, I also just... It's important to not get bored. But yeah. Well, only playing 1 or 2 games at once is also a perfectly valid way to do things, though. It's just... my brain is too hyperactive for focusing on one or 2 games in their entirety at once without having something mixing it up. Okay, I need to... It was up and to the left. I'm looking for the tall vertical room because I'm trying to get to... I'm trying to get up to here. But I think I can break that wall. And I'm trying to pick up as many different things. It usually reflects more of the actual game than does me. I mean, I like the games I play. I just have issues with focusing on one thing for long periods of time. And if every... And I have tried playing only 1 or 2 games on stream, and they are fun games that I do still play off stream sometimes, but also not having any variety there just made me get kind of tired. Like tired and very easily distracted. But yeah, I don't know. I do know that I am. My brain is also... Alright, I just need to hold up a little bit longer. I do know that my brain is also a little bit on the hyperactive side sometimes. All the time. It really depends on just how well I'm controlling it. I think I need to go to that wall and then launch to the right. And I think I can get through that next thing, because if I can find more items, that'll be very, very helpful. I will say, I do like how much movement jank this game lets me get away with. Because a lot of games don't really give you too much in the way of movement jank, or if they do, it's like very heavily restricted where it'll actually work. But I've managed to sequence break entire portions of this game with its movement mechanics. And but from what I can tell, it is actually like intentional. Is it still sequence break if you consider it to be or if it's intentional? I'd say probably. Because I think at least a couple of them weren't intentional, but they were definitely still sequence breaks. And some of them felt, at least like the developers allowed you to do it the way that they did. Even if progressing a little bit further through the game would have made things easier. I'm guessing there's either going to be a boss or a new area. Because yes, we just get perfectly normal benches. Or I suppose mostly normal benches. Ooh, teleporter. I think we may have finally accomplished our goal from the last 4 streams of this game of making it to the Upper Stratum. At last, a means to the Upper Stratum. I'm kind of nervous. Combat puppet number 14. Please, wait. Yeah, there are a lot of them. Huh? Didn't that... What clicked out of the game there? There we go. Our friends from the arena tower. What are you doing here? We got word you were making your way up to the Upper Stratum. Well, we've been looking for a way up there ourselves. You wish to help. The Upper Stratum is likely the most heavily guarded place in the entire nation. I shall scout ahead to find us a path. The time for games is over. Prevail or die trying. Thank you, all of you. We are built and honed for combat. It is our time now. Let us meet in the Upper Stratum. There's still other areas though. Let's be on our way. I think it would be slightly delayed behind them because I want to see what some of these other secrets I've definitely still got locked are. Notably, the one down in Land of Origin seems to be the other area and actually make it through now. And you finally rolled the credits on Fulfilling the Curse 2 days ago. It's always fun when you manage to beat a game. That's always a really good feeling. To finally pull it, or finally pull that off. Is there gonna be the boss down here? I remember there was random bosses that like respawned in this area. Ah. I lost almost all my health from one enemy attack. This game does not pull its punches with how much damage anything deals. Yeah, it's not very popular, sadly, because it's a phenomenal game. It looks fun. It definitely looks fun, and I'm probably going to play it at some point. The common enemy just defeated me. Because I do like playing games that don't get nearly as much attention as they probably should. That's like one of the staples of games I generally find myself enjoying. I do actually know the game. I actually have it in my Steam library. I'm not sure when I bought it. I haven't played it yet. But I do actually have Fulfilling the Curse in my Steam library at some point from... I'm presuming I probably picked it up on... I don't know if I picked it up on sale or if I just picked it up and forgot about it at one point because I have a backlog that'll last me till like 2080. But at some point I do want to play it. It looks, at least from the trailer, pretty fun. Because yeah, I do always tend to play games that are a little bit less on the hyper crazy popular side. Ah yes, cursed goop water. Because environmental damage is not enough. Is there an enemy over here? There's here's the boss that we keep just running into in this entire area. Ah, yes. Can I please heal? I'm guessing no. I think I just burned all my heals trying to get one successful heal off against this boss. So luckily, once I break open a platform or I break open the walls, it stays open. And the walls stay open after I open them up once. So I only think I have to defeat this particular instance of the boss one time. I'm still not sure what the point of Land of Origin in this game is, because Ender Lilies had a similar-ish type of area. Yeah, Ender Lilies had a similar-ish type of area called the Verboten Domain, which held, like, the secret final boss of the game. How do I open these doors? I don't see levers anywhere. Oh, there's a secret pathway over here. This game sometimes doesn't do the best job of actually revealing where all of the secret pathways are. Which leads to me just kind of having to bounce around until I find whatever the secret tunnel is. I don't think there's anything down there. But yeah. Now I get to play the game of where are the other two secret tunnels that I've missed? Because I legitimately don't know where they'd be. Yeah, they wouldn't be very good secrets if I could just instantly know where they are. So I can't necessarily blame the game. That's not what I was looking for, but I'll take it. Because that's much more of just a item of some sort. I get a lot of those. Typhoon restores 2% of health every 2 seconds. I don't really think that's useful, though, is the thing. You can finally watch the stream. It's been a hot minute. Hey, welcome to Stream Nova. We are currently I'm currently trying to find a secret pathway somewhere that I missed. I am also very low on health. I got 2 doors unlocked. Actually, I think I'm gonna warp back up to the respite just to restore my health. Because getting my health back is going to be very useful as I'm just exploring the area full of toxic, damaging ground. It has been a little while, Nova. Hopefully you've been doing fairly well, other than presumably being very busy. Okay, where am I trying to go? I'm trying to make it down below this area, but I'm also trying to get past these doors, and I suspect those are related. I don't see anything obvious that I missed on the map, at least. The last entrance into the area was not something on the map. Is the boss here again? The boss is not here again. I've noticed that sometimes that boss respawns. Work's got you in a chokehold, but other than that, you're doing fine. All right. Yeah. Work'll do that sometimes. It's always a little bit frustrating when work is like crazy, ridiculously busy. I definitely hit that sometimes. Yeah, I don't see any other secret tunnels. I see a secret tunnel on the other side of this first door. In the ceiling. Okay, I see it. I'm looking for these like tiny little secret tunnels that are just like a little tiny sliver of game geometry. As its only real tell. It would help if I had health. This game still has I wouldn't call it a problem, but it still has the fun side effect of everything deals an absolutely ridiculous damage to me. And especially things that have a boss health bar. Because things that don't have a boss health bar only deal like half my health bar per hit. Things with a boss health bar deal like somewhere in the range of 3/4 of my health bar per hit. And it is rather scary. It's rather scary. At least we have the doors open. At least the game saves when you've made progress. I just need to keep... If I keep moving... The Rooted Primordial Beast doesn't seem to be able to do much to me so long as I don't stay in one place long enough for its attack to, like, spawn below me. Because those circles do take a second to spawn. They feel like they kind of like black holes. And those kind of give me like a black hole vibe. Ah, yes, I need to make sure I'm not going to get hit when I try to heal. So basically just unmodded Silk Song levels of damage. Silk Song, you can take more than one hit from a boss and survive. This game, if I try to take more than one hit from a boss, I definitely am not surviving that encounter. Where are we now? This game definitely does a pretty absurd amount of damage usually. Levi, what are you doing down here? Levi, how did you get here? How did they get down here? I want to see it for myself. The land of origin. But it's nothing like you read in the books. It feels so lonely here. Even though this is supposed to be where magic and life come from. I don't think it was always like this. The Blight has transformed this place, just like it did the Crimson Forest. Aw. I get another random item that I have no idea what to do with. Here, I found this. Seal of the Land of Origin. A vestige of the Sorcerers of the Ancients. It contains a description of the blighted Fumes. The Land of Origin was once known as the Holy Land of the Ancients. Where does Levi keep finding these things? I think it has something to do with the Blight. It might come in handy. Thanks. I'll look for someone that can decipher this. Levi, it's dangerous down here. Why don't you come back with us? Okay, I'm leaving already. You can take it from here, Lilac. Be careful. See ya. Did the game just crash on me? Did something just crashed on my end? I'm not sure what just crashed on my end. The game unfroze. YouTube Studio did not unfreeze. What? Did I like just take my entire GPU driver down right there? Yeah, VTube Studio is like completely frozen. It feels like a little bit more than just the game crashed. Okay, now VTube Studio at least closed so I can relaunch it. Yeah, the mic's been freaking out the entire stream, and I can't fix that without like stopping the stream, which is non-resumable in YouTube. I will fix that before the next stream, at least. Okay, at least I can get my model back running fairly quickly. Okay, there, that's at least fixed, at least. Yeah, like, my entire system just, like, also just freaked out. It's been this game is just slightly cursed for being able to actually stream it, from what I've realized. Apparently, this is a different pathway. What? How do I get over there, then? Yeah, there's about a 50-50 chance that an Ender Magnolia stream is going to have, like a certain amount of stuff for some reason, and I'm legitimately not sure what it is about this particular game, because it's like either scuffed to the point where I can't even stream, or just enough scuff to where it doesn't like stop the stream but is noticeable. And it's like only Ender Magnolia that seems to have that problem, and I am still not entirely sure what it is. Okay, I'm suspecting I'm still missing a secret pathway around here somewhere. Given that there appears to be a breakable spot on the floor there. But where the secret pathway I'm missing is remains to be seen. I'm just trying to make at least a decent amount of progress through the game today to eventually be able to beat it. I'm also like really, really tired today, which also probably doesn't help. Okay, how do I get below this area then? Unless it's dropping through the goop water. Yeah, it does not appear to be dropping through the goop water. Is there a platform around here somewhere? Doesn't look like it either. Huh. I didn't see any secret pathways down below in this room. Also, that room's also marking as incomplete on the map. Because one useful thing that Ender Magnolia does is it will show incomplete rooms, or rooms where I'm still missing some bit of progression, with a helpful gray background versus the blue background. That means you have definitely picked up everything in this room. Ender Lilies did something similar with slightly different color schemes, which made it actually surprisingly straightforward to 100% the game. Though, of course, it doesn't tell you what you're missing in the room, or if you have the ability inspired to get it. Okay. That's a secret. That is a lot of materials. But materials are one of this game's primary currencies for buying items and upgrades. Still don't think I have enough health to get through that area. I mean, I suppose the last thing to do is to just actually head to the Upper Stratum instead of stalling. And I have a prediction that I'm going to enter Upper Stratum and then immediately like get absolutely destroyed by the first enemy I see here. Why did this room not get marked as blue already? What? I made it one room into Upper Stratum before I'm already like, why is this not getting marked off as completed? Well, it's because there's an entire second section of the room below. It's unnervingly quiet. Where is everyone? Hey, that is certainly an enemy. Hold on. Thank goodness for the fact that I have a item that gives me a like slight chance of instantly dispatching any non-boss enemy in the game. Administrative lockdown, or Administrative District Lockdown Notice. As the rate of death continues to cause severe harm to the Upper Stratum, survivors are advised to seek shelter at the control tower or other similarly secure locations and await rations. During this period of lockdown, residents are prohibited from leaving Upper Stratum. Residents that have been affected by the blight will be quarantined to the central and lower stratums. So their method of solving the blight problem is just send everyone to the slums. Honestly, I gotta say that that's more realistic than I see from most games. Also, yeah, these enemies are... It's 2 enemies I didn't instantly die to. That's more progress. That's further than I thought I'd make it. But also... Wow. You can see how much damage these enemies deal with one hit. And it is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, the amount of damage that enemies deal in this game is absolutely terrifying. And I do think it is at least partially my fault for turning it on to hard difficulty instead of keeping it on the normal default difficulty. That probably doesn't help. Yeah, being on hard difficulty probably doesn't help, at least. Can I just skip 90% of the enemies in this first room? I think I can. Haha. Work smarter, not harder. That is a terrifying enemy up above me. Yeah, work smarter for how to get through the area than instead of harder. Because I will absolutely use like each mechanic I can in this game. Because it is fun to play on the hard difficulty, but it's also, as the name implies, a little bit on the hard side. Yeah, the instant dispatch, you'll notice because sometimes the enemies will just like blink out of existence, despite still having a pretty good amount of health. I am very surprised I survived that. Yeah, you'll notice that, like the enemy did right there, they just kind of blink out of existence after a couple of seconds, after getting just hit one time randomly. Because it's a very low chance that I instantly defeat an enemy. But a low chance is not no chance. Also, that apparently there's just no floor to these rooms. I do suppose that this is the third major zone, because the game's kind of split into both major and minor zones. So you have lower stratum, I suppose 4 major zones. Land of origin, lower stratum, central stratum, upper stratum. And then each of those zones has a couple of different areas in it. Like the biological research facility, or I suppose the entire land of origin would also count as one area, kind of. That's kind of an area and a zone. You just get like different little sub areas within each of the layers. I think there's a better descriptor is layers. And I know that jumping from lower stratum to central stratum had a massive difficulty spike. So I'm not entirely surprised that going from central to upper had something similar. Can I just launch past the landmine? I cannot launch past the landmine. Okay. That makes me slightly explode. Yeah, this game is definitely not gonna pull its punches at any point in terms of the difficulty, which, while normally appreciated, does mean that I'm going to spend a rather long time getting absolutely destroyed in Upper Stratum, if I had to guess. How large is this room? Evacuation routes. Wait, please hurry. Is there anything up top? Other than enemies? The fact that there's enemies up top, though, implies that there's probably something else up there. And then we have rocketfish that also defeat me instantly. I wonder what my death count is in this game so far. Because this is about how every new area's gone in the entire game. It's just, I enter a new area, just spending the area getting like one shot by everything, as I slowly figure out how to navigate the area without having to face off against every enemy on the map. Because I did notice that there was something over here, and there's also a pathway there that leads somewhere. I really do want to figure out what's going on in that upper, or over all the way to the left. Kind of first. Yeah, one room at a time. At least this game's platforming is relatively generous with letting me get away with things that the game probably should not be letting me get away with. With all the different just movement jank, and I have a lot of control of my character in the air. I do get a lot of control of my character up in the air. Though that doesn't really help me when I'm in an area with water. But the rocketfish don't seem to be able to go up. I am noticing that the rocketfish seem to be unable to relocate themselves in an upwards direction. Which does help me a little bit. I'm not even sure if it's so much jank as just... I mean, this is definitely a jank way to fight that enemy. By going through the wall. But like, the game definitely lets me get away with a lot of just movement stuff that it probably shouldn't let me get away with. Because, hey, at least we don't have a breath meter. That does make things quite a bit easier in the water. It does make things quite a bit easier in the water to not have a breath meter that I'm constantly having to worry about. I can't help but think that there's something up top because they put an enemy up top. They have a waterfall going up, and then they have an enemy up here as well. That screams to me that there's an item probably in the top right corner of this room somehow. Okay. I think I need to movement jank my way across the top of the screen. 1, 2, 3, dash, 1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, dash, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's what I mean by, like, this game kind of intentionally has a lot of just movement tech. I'm not sure it's movement jank's the correct term, given it a lot of it is seems to be fairly intentional. But it definitely has a lot of it. I need to flip a lever somewhere. That's a locked door. It's like, there's a very specific combo of attacks I can do in the air in order to get quite a lot of horizontal this movement out of my abilities. I do not want to deal with this enemy. Yeah, it's like I can do 1, 2, 3 attacks. I can dash, and then if I can also get double jump, and double jump refreshes my dash. Presently closed. State of emergency. Remain indoors. The rain. The rain seems to not be particularly friendly in this area. Priestess's Tears. Increases damage dealt to enemies based on a percentage depending on the number of filled SP gauges, either 10 or 15%. It's not a terrible item. This also gives me technically a second sort of entrance into the Upper Stratum. Just from the other side. Yeah, this is a sort of... I suppose this counts as an entrance to Upper Stratum. It's just an entrance to Upper Stratum from the left side to the right. I'm not sure if that's helpful at all, though. Because I haven't even explored the right side. Okay, is there a secret over here? There is a secret over here. I know how to get that secret. Getting that secret is going to be really, really tricky, I think. Either that or I'm going to get it first try. Because I can use my dash ability. Yeah, I need to use my dash ability and go across the vanishing platforms with my dash ability, and I need to not jump off the edges many times. Because each time I miss, I definitely am going to take damage. Okay, that was closer. And yes, we get to ride on a puppy dog. that is our dash ability, is ride on the puppy dog. Which is really, really nice. Because they're also like... We've had that ability for so much of the game. Okay, oh, I can trigger it partway across. That opened the barrier. If that opens the barrier, I can do movement jank to get back over there. Because I don't know what's down here, but it's probably worthwhile. Presumably. Another administrative... Those I can't tell if those are actually going to be useful or not. Given I don't use a lot of the upgrade abilities I already have. Yeah, the doggy. We all like the doggy. They're also our fast travel method, which is very, very fun. Because they move relatively... They move at like our full dodge speed, except as an actual dash. And they break a lot of fairly solid looking walls. Okay, I'm gonna enter the whatever the next area is from the right side, just because it's easier for me to get to. It's easier for me to get to the teleport from this side. That is literally the entire reason why, or the doorway from this side. It's literally the entire reason why I'm taking this entrance instead of the left entrance. It's because I think this one's easier to get to. L2, move. Well, welcome to Upper Stratum. You instantly are getting blasted by giant laser beams. Well, why am I not surprised? And also, the enemy has another enemy that can heal it. Because why wouldn't the enemies be able to heal? They already take most of my health bar to defeat. Honestly, I don't actually mind it. This game does a pretty good job of feeling relatively balanced, despite the absurd amounts of damage everything deals. There's an item over there. I don't know why it gave me another cutscene. That looks like it was made for you. These have been your quarters. Do you remember anything? The classic video game trope of everybody has amnesia, nobody knows what's going on. I don't remember this room being here before. I'd never even seen here. I see. I wonder whose room it was then. I'm gonna just break all their furniture, though. Unidentified transformer. Is that the one for the attack type that I'm actually using? Or is that the useless one? Because there were two separate... Yeah, there were two separate ability upgrade materials I needed for the two... or for each of the attack types I have to upgrade still. I don't think it made any sense. Of course, it's not the one I'm using. I'm using the scythe as my primary attack. Not either of the others. Honestly, I might as well just unblock everything that I can, because I have a feeling that the game's going to give me enough upgrade materials to fully upgrade every ability in the game. And I just need me to determine the order to upgrade things. Which I suppose isn't really a terrible way to do it. Yeah, the Upper Stratum. We made it to the Upper Stratum. I do wonder how many times I'm gonna just get absolutely obliterated by some enemy sitting somewhere as I try to actually get through this area. Also, they did the fact that they just had like gold-colored or just like gold-plated lamps just hanging around everywhere, I feel like says quite a lot about how the Upper Stratum folks treated society. It's been a while since I've actually been in Lower Stratum. But it's not like Lower Stratum is a well-maintained town like Upper Stratum is. Also, that is a absurdly large number of just things blocking the way. Okay, this is another shortcut. This is another pathway somewhere. Ah. An enemy that I can't even attack most of the time. Because that is perfectly reasonable. It also deals more than half my health per hit. That is still terrifying. This game definitely knows how to do this game definitely knows how to do terrifying enemies by just having everything actually be... Oh no. That's one of our friends from Central Stratum who came here before us. I won't allow your death to be in vain. Because they came into Upper Stratum ahead of us to try to clear a pathway for us through Upper Stratum. But apparently they don't have any better luck than we do with surviving this area. Ah, yes. Damage. Everything deals damage. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get through that section. So, oh, there's a breakable wall there. I can go left, see what's to the left. I definitely need to just explore just a little. I just need to figure out where I'm even trying to get to in Upper Stratum, because currently I'm just kind of angling in I'm kind of just wandering around randomly, and I don't know which direction to aim. This game looks fun minus all the dying. It is a fun game. And I'm sure if you didn't want to have all the dying, you could probably just turn the difficulty down. Because the game does like a fully customizable difficulty setting. I just picked hard. It has I think it has an easy, normal, and hard presets, as well as like the ability to fully customize your abilities, with the only thing that it really affects being your ability to unlock cosmetics. Like the only thing that really seems to limit or restrict off of difficulty was how fast you would unlock cosmetics. Because there is I'm not out of respite. Next time I'm out of respite, I'll pull it up. But there is a way to unlock cosmetics using a sort of currency you get from defeating enemies. And the difficulty settings give you a multiplier on how much of that you get. I should heal. Yeah, I just, being me, picked the hardest difficulty setting possible. They did not survive either. No, they came prepared for this. But yeah, you would probably play the hardest. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm playing at least the hardest built-in difficulty. Also, every bench gives me random bits of lore. You got to the Upper Stratum. Thank you, Lilac. We wouldn't have made it without you. Thank you, Motley. Say, do you ever think about becoming the next lord of your house? Gilroy always wanted me to, but I don't think my father wanted to entrust the duties of a lord to a human. He didn't trust the judgment of humans. But you have the perspective of both humans and homunculi. You'd be a great fit. Heh, I do, don't I? Yeah, this game has a customizable difficulty setting, as well as easy, normal, hard. And hard just increases it, and you get some extra fragments which are just used to unlock cosmetics and, like, character art and whatnot. But it is fun. I never expected my comrades to follow us into the Upper Stratum. They always did care deeply about you. Perhaps it was our mutual hatred of Declan that forged such strong bonds between us. However, I suspect it wasn't just for me. You earned their respect as well. Is that so? I hope I'm worthy of it, then. Do you like the name in number 7? As names go, it doesn't suit you very much. I don't dislike it. The number connects me to my comrades. I understand. I liked being called Lorna Frost, too. Yeah. If a game had a good story, chances are you'll have 2 or 3 different runs. Going hardest to easier. This game's story is good, but it's also not obvious what the story is. I think is how I describe this game's story so far. Is that the game really doesn't explain the story so much as it just expects you to piece it together. There is no door in this room either. Alright then. Good to know. I think I can grab onto this bit of wall. How do I get up there? I think I need to jump into the water and swim up. Yeah, there we go. Because this game definitely doesn't... Yeah, this game definitely does not pull any punches when it comes to just fear. It is most of the way to the left entrance. Yeah, basically using context clues. Basically, yeah. Which I don't mind that in the games I play. Because it also seems to be at least somewhat connected to the story of its prequel game, even though they don't seem to be like direct sequels. They do at least seem to take place in the same world, or different kingdoms in the same world, so like different parts of the same continent. So like I can pick up on some context clues in this game from the previous game. Ah, yes. That is totally what I wanted to have happen, is get locked in a room with multiple enemies. Yeah, so long as the game does a good job of putting its context clues together so that you can actually make sense of the story, it works surprisingly well. Though also, the fact that we're like I don't actually know how old our characters in this game. They seem a little bit older than the like 10-year-old that we were in Ender Lilies, which entrust the entire fate of an entire collapsing kingdom to a 10-year-old is a moderately questionable decision, but we at least seem to be a little bit older than that in this game. I'd put our character Lilac probably somewhere in her mid-teens, probably. But yeah, it is rather difficult to... Or it's a rather difficult game, even though it is fun how it connects things. That was a really lucky instant dispatch on that enemy. First hit, no more enemy. We are slowly also getting materials, which I'm not sure what I'll use the materials on, other than just buying out more relic slots from the shop, probably. That feels like a reasonable enough thing to purchase. Also, I burned 3 of my 5 heals getting through that one room. We found a teleported up, though. I will say, I will absolutely have zero qualms about that he didn't want to be there. I mean, he probably would have won the fight against me. I will say, I have absolutely zero qualms about cheesing enemies through the floor in this game when possible. Because the game doesn't always let me get away with that. But it is somewhat useful when it does. Also, did that enemy just spawn out of, like, thin air? Or am I going crazy? Or I suppose both. Probably both. If we're being completely honest. Yeah, there are a lot of enemies, and they are exceptionally dangerous. And, because, like, just imagine how difficult it would be to beat this game if it didn't let me try to do... At least cut a couple of enemies down through the wall. Because, like, this game has the difficulty that... Or has a pretty high difficulty ceiling. I need to break this wall here so I can get outside of the building. Because I'm hoping I can get around and pick up whatever that item is. That is called how to not launch off the wall. Yeah, there are plenty of enemies in this game that just do not let me get away with that. Or with really much of anything. I'm guessing I can launch out of here? I'm just kind of going to go out on the assumption there's probably a wall somewhere off to the right. That appears to be a sane assumption. Yeah, I like how I'm just going to assume there's going to probably be a wall out here somewhere. I want to get into here at some point, which means I need a wall off to the left. Okay, my dash ability that can break that type of wall requires me to hang onto a wall off to the left. Ooh, an item. Is it gonna be 5 health? No, it's just gonna be more. How are you doing, Lord Motley? Please take some time off from the Academy whenever you should feel the need to do so. Rest assured that, for the time being, I am capable of carrying out Lord Kane's duties. There's also a confidential matter I would like to confide to you. There exists a homunculus, with whom I am very close, and I would very much like to introduce the two of you. Let us meet and speak in person soon. That's, I suppose, fairly helpful. I think I can't... Okay, I can't actually break that because the door's locked. I may be able to break this lower one, though. I may be able to break this lower one, and I'm guessing that the door lock might be on the other side of that. I just fell straight into the zappy stuff. Twice in a row, because I forgot that is... For some reason, I just tried to do a Hollow Knight pogo in a game that is definitely not Hollow Knight. And I'm not sure why I did that. We are at least in a new room? Gotta try to get through this room, though. Okay, taking out the enemy in one hit does help. Okay, is there a lever on this side of the door, at least? There is. It is very, very difficult to swim up this water in this area. This is not the easiest water ever to swim up. Okay, I need to line myself up with the door, launch off the wall, and then I think I'll make it over. I will indeed. Another administrator's amplifier. I'm getting a lot of those. I'm not sure if those are useful beyond... I'm not sure to what extent those are actually useful. Ah, yes. A room with enemies. Because that is the most sane thing I can find. I'm gonna ignore the enemy. Never mind, I'm not gonna ignore the enemy because there's nowhere else for me to go. But I can hit this one through the floor. Which I will definitely take advantage of. Okay, I can't get through there. I can go over the ceiling of this particular building, though. Does this actually help me at all? Okay, so that's always a really terrifying thing to do. I can actually drop below a wall in this game, then grab onto the other side of the wall, but that's always a little bit on the scary side. Why do I feel like that's blocking a pathway? That is definitely blocking a pathway. I can go up, though. I can find a random secret that seems to lead to nothing. I'm not sure what the that secret is. How tall is this room? Hold on. Okay, this room is actually a lot taller than I thought it was. Okay, I can make it over to this central platform, though. That's what the secret's for. Got it. Got it. I'm like, no, this is a different secret. The The secret's probably still for the same thing I thought it was for, though. Which is a wall I can then launch off of to get somewhere. Somewhere hopefully useful. I do like how quickly I defeat some of these enemies, though. I'm still really tired. Honestly, I'm sleepy enough that I might call today's stream here. I keep being like, I really just need to go to sleep. Or get a little bit of sleep at some point here. And I need to warp back to the bench anyways. For the rest of it anyways. I do think I'm going to call today's stream here just so I can get a little bit of extra sleep before tomorrow's stream. And it was a little bit earlier than I normally call streams, but I've been yawning like the entire stream. And I also need to fix the microphone. So, I don't know, this is a fun game. I do need to get sleep, though. And I'm glad I at least actually got to play some more of the game today. Instead of the stream being completely cursed. So, yeah, I'm going to call today's stream here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Like, comment, subscribe so that YouTube unbanishes me from the Shadow Realm again. And, have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.